Hi, welcome to Math for All, where everyone can learn more about math. I'm Denise, and today I'd like to teach you how to solve two-step equations in algebra. Before you learn this, be sure you're comfortable with one-step equations that were covered in my previous video. So go check that one out if you need to. Two-step equations look like these. They're a little harder to solve in your head. They have two things annoying your variable instead of just one. But there's good news. We solve these using the same ideas as solving one-step equations. We get rid of what's annoying the letters using operations that undo each other. Before we start, please print out our fill-in-the-blank notes that you can use to follow along with this video at mathforall.net. Then stick with me for tips and tricks to help you solve these guys. Let's get into solving one of these bad boys. 3b plus 2 equals 20. What they're asking for is 3 times what number plus 2 equals 20. To solve these, we'll figure out what's annoying the b, that 3 next to the b and the positive 2 here. If we could get rid of both of these, we would have b by itself, which is the goal. Here's the most important thing, our decision of what to get rid of first, the 3 or the 2. If I choose to get rid of the 3, it is being multiplied by the b, so I would divide by 3 to undo it. Dividing by 3, I would have 20 over 3 on this side. Yuck! Also, I haven't gone over this, but you would have to divide everything on each side, so you would also have 2/3 over here. This does not feel like a good decision, making all these fractions, so let's get rid of this and try a different tactic. Poof! I'm here to show you the easier way of solving this. So let's try taking care of that 2 first and see if we don't make any of those pesky fractions. The 2 is getting added to the b. So I will subtract 2 from both sides like this. Write it going down to make it pretty. Line across, slash the 2 minus 2 because it equals 0. Then 20 minus 2 equals 18. We're back to a one-step equation with no fractions. Yippee! 3b equals 18. Now, to take care of the 3, it's getting multiplied to the b, so we will divide to get rid of it. I show division with a fraction bar here. 3b over 3. Other side, 18 over 3. Slash 3 over 3 in front of the b, because 3 divided by 3 equals 1. And then do 18 divided by 3, which equals 6. For a final answer of 1b equals 6, but we just write b equals 6. The way to remember to do that subtraction first is to start far, far away from the variable and work in. We normally do plus or minus first, then any multiplication or division, so we don't create those unruly fractions. You saw this coolness in action, so let's summarize the steps in solving these two-step equations. Step 1, see what's annoying your variable, and as an option, circle anything that's bothering it. I will be circling so that you can see them nice and clearly. Step 2, decide what to undo first. It will depend on what type of problem you are doing, so let's give some examples here. If you have problems that look like this, 3x plus 7 equals negative 42, or y over 8 minus 3 equals 5, the best choice for these will be to add or subtract first, or think of it as undoing the operation farther away from your letter. For the first one, we would get rid of the 7 first. For the next one, we would get rid of the negative 3 first. Now, if you have something that looks like this, 4 plus z all over 7 equals 9, notice how it looks different than the others because it has a big long fraction bar across one side. So our best choice will be to get rid of that bottom number 7 by multiplying both sides by it. With that 7 gone, there would be no more fractions. Step 3. Solve your new one-step equation. Take care of the second thing annoying your letter, usually multiplication or division. Write what that is on both sides and do the math. Step 4. Write your variable equals a number and you're done. I like to then circle my answer as a small celebration for doing all that work. Now, it's time to practice a few, including one that incorporates fractions. We don't want to shy away from equations that look harder than normal. Just take a breath and follow the steps. Be careful with your math, and you've got it. First, we have this one. Negative 43 equals negative 8t plus 5. Step 1. What's annoying the letter? Do not be tricked that the variable is on the other side of the equal sign. The negative 8 and the plus 5 are annoying it. The negative 43 is happily hanging out on the other side of the equal sign, so we'll just let him be. I will circle the annoyances so I can really see that if they went away, that t would be by itself. Step 2. Decide what to undo first. We remember to travel farther away from the t. Well, that negative 8 is right next to the t, so we'll go after that plus 5 instead. To undo plus 5, I'll subtract 5 like this on both sides of the equal sign and make my line to separate it from my new equation. Slash 5 minus 5 because it equals 0. On the other side, we have negative 43 minus 5, which equals negative 48. So we have negative 48 equals negative 8t, a beautiful one-step equation. Step 3, we'll undo that negative 8 by dividing by negative 8 on both sides. Notice that I don't change the sign when I divide. Write lines with negative 8 underneath, like this. Negative 48 divided by negative 8 is positive 6. I'll write it under that. On the other side, slash negative 8 over negative 8 because it equals 1, leaving 1t on this side for an answer of 6 equals t. Hooray! Sit back, smile, and admire the awesome algebra work that you've done. Here's one that looks eerily similar to the last one, but it's different enough to go over together. Y over 7 minus 3 equals 5. What's annoying the y? The 7 and the negative 3. I'll give them some circles to indicate these are the numbers I'm going to attack. Next, decide what to get rid of first. We do have a fraction bar, but not a long one over the whole side, so, like the previous example, I'll look at what's farthest away from my letter. That negative 3 is going away by adding 3 to both sides, like this. Slash, and 5 plus 3 equals 8. We have y over 7 equals 8 now. Step 3 will get rid of that 7. It's getting divided, so we'll multiply to undo it. Both sides get a dot and a 7. Slash. Then 8 times 7 equals 56 for an answer of y equals 56. The next example has a fraction in it, but we will not be scared away. Here it is. 5/8 d minus 11 equals negative 36. We have our recipe for success, so let's not freak out that it looks different. What's annoying my d? 5/8 circle and negative 11 circle. I will take care of the negative 11 first because that fraction bar is only next to the letter. So I'll add 11 to both sides, drop it down underneath, line, slash, then do negative 36 plus 11. I think of these as if I spent $36 and then I earned $11, I will still owe $25 for an answer of negative 25. Now we're at 5/8 d equals negative 25. Take care of that 5/8 now. But we haven't seen this yet. Hang with me on this one. It's very important and not as difficult as you may think. The 5/8 is getting multiplied to the d. which means that I divide both sides by 5/8 to undo it. Normally, we write our lines underneath both sides and put 5/8 here and here. But honestly, that makes complex fractions, which seems like too much work. I'll do some writing over here to show you what trick we will do instead. I'll take the other side. -25 divided by 5/8. We get to divide fractions. I hope you remember these 3 words: copy, dot, flip. Copy the -25, dot in the middle, flip the second fraction, so now it's 8/5. Do you see that dividing by 5/8 is the same thing as multiplying by 8/5? That's what we're going to do when we have a fraction in front of our letter. Forget about the line and the complex fractions, so we'll get rid of that. Poof! And make it cleaner. We have the 5/8 over here. Our trick to remember is to multiply by the reciprocal on both sides. 8/5 dot on this side, dot 8/5 on the other side. Cool! Slash on this side because 5/8 times 8/5 equals 1. Now let's remember our multiplication of fractions. -25 times 8/5. I like to put the whole number over 1 to see it better. Slash anything that can be divisible on the top and the bottom. I see the -25 and the 5 here that are both divisible by 5. Slash -25 divided by 5 equals -5. So now he is a -5. Then 5 divided by 5 equals 1 here. Multiplying across the top is -5 times 8 equals -40, with just a 1 on the bottom for a final answer of D equals -40. Step 4 and the final answer. Before we do the last example of two-step equations, I'd like us to quickly practice another one of the one-step equations with that fraction in the front. -3/7 z equals 30. I want to make sure that that little trick sticks with you. Remember, I divide both sides by -3/7 to undo it. But instead of writing that, I will recall copy dot flip and conveniently put -7/3 dot on this side and dot -7/3 on this side, just multiplying by the reciprocal, slash on this side. Then 30 times -7/3 is 30/1. Slash the 30 and the 3 and divide them both by 3 for a 10 here and a 1 underneath. Multiplying across the top, -7 times 10 equals -70. Z equals -70. I hope that reinforces that little trick that can save you steps and cause you not to panic. This next example looks a little different, so we'll choose the other option in what to get rid of first. 4 plus z over 7 equals 9. I see a big, scary fraction bar, but we have the tools to get rid of it. I got a 4 and a 7 annoying my z. Decision time. This time, we do have a fraction across the whole letter side, so we're not going to add or subtract first. We're going to say that we want to do whatever we can in our power to get rid of fractions, and we can here. So we will multiply both sides by the bottom number of 7. Slash on this side because 7 over 7 equals 1. Then 9 times 7 equals 63. I'm left with 4 plus z equals 63. Nice. All we have to do to get z by itself now is to subtract 4 from both sides. -4 minus 4 slash 63 minus 4 equals 59 for an answer of z equals 59. Circle that baby and celebrate. Congratulations, you are officially on your way to succeeding in algebra. It's time to practice the steps in solving two-step equations like you learned in this video. The more you do these, the easier they will get, which will be excellent because a lot of algebra problems come down to solving two-step equations. So go to my website, mathforall.net, and print out a worksheet under the lesson two-step equations that you can use to practice on your own. Be sure to write down your algebra work like I've shown you. It is great for keeping things organized. The worksheet includes the different types of two-step equations you will see where you have to make decisions of what to get rid of first, as well as some of the kinds with fractions in the front of the letters so that you can practice that trick of multiplying both sides by the reciprocal. Have fun, come back and watch more videos so that you can learn more about math.